Brother who gave much love to the music. He gets much respect. Can you dig it? We lost a bright one. The day that the music died. Yeah. We lost a bright one. Yeah. The day that the music died. All I can see is purple in my mind.
Well, happy Friday, as they like to say here in California, and maybe they say that all over the place. And it's me, Michael P. America, and just coming back to you here on June 19th. So, yesterday, very interesting day. President Obama got his due. They had the opening ceremony for his library there in Chicago, and it looked like it went pretty good. And it's very interesting because all of this is happening around the time that the Knicks are celebrating their championship run. And looks like that a lot of people showed up in Chicago, and a lot of people showed up for the Knicks. They said there's some number like a couple million, maybe a little bit more than that. And I would say this NBA season, excuse me, the Knicks earned it. They definitely earned it. Even though San Antonio, they were beat 4-1. It still wasn't. Those weren't easy victories for the Knicks because everything was right to the edge. It's just San Antonio's too inexperienced to actually pull it off. Now next year and the year after, they're going to be a force. But I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of changes in the NBA. But I could talk about basketball all day. I like basketball. Getting back to the Obama celebration, that was great to see. Uh, Private donations funded that, not taxpayer money, not federal money. Private donations funded that. And it sounds like there's some folks that are really interested in democracy. And that was a takeaway for me looking at this. I know that we're in different times than when Obama was actually in charge of the White House. We're in totally different times. And, he did say something that was very interesting about, looking back and making this kind of a nostalgic point. That's not what this is really about. It's about the possibilities. And I think freedom is always about the possibility. I think when you try to take freedom away, it's about destroying the possibility. And that's why people continuously lie to you because they want to take away your real opportunity or your real decision making, the real decision making process. They want to remove that from the common man. And so you need to think about some of these things that you're going for, whether it's entertainment, whether it's politics, that is absolutely counterintuitive to your freedom, to your democracy, and to the freedom of your children, the legacy what type of legacy you planning to leave. Are you trying to leave the next generation better off or worse than you are? So we have to look at these things honestly and say, can we do better? Can we be better? And it doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself. I can tell you one thing, you can't enjoy yourself if you're in chains. You're getting somebody else's idea of what you should have, not what really due to you in regards to you being a good citizen of planet Earth. Not just your neighborhood, not just the city you're in, but planet Earth. So, not going to take too long. You see a lot of things floating around on top of the screen. Super collider. What's the purpose? What is the number of a man? For you guys who, there are folks out there that know what I'm talking about when we say what is the number of the man. And one thing I'll say about that is that the Dark Ages, you know what happened in the Dark Ages, why the Dark Ages were happening, and we do not understand Latin. And so, because we don't understand Latin, we have a hard time with that question. Because moving forward, they make sure that, only a certain class of people were going to get access to Latin. Okay? But what is the number of a man is very important. Very important when I say this. Okay? Roman language, derivative of Latin. Okay? So I'll let you guys figure that out. And then, what is the internet? What is it really? What is cyberspace? Or as I like to call it, the webuverse. Yes, that's my word, webuverse. Like its own universe, its own dimension. So you can answer those questions. I'm not here to answer that for you. You see, Trump's regime is a democracy killer. It's pretty obvious. You can see that. Got his private army. He's building that up while he sends your sons and daughters away on exploits that has really nothing to do with the United States. Has more to do with him trying to seize power and to keep the military from actually taking a look at what he's doing here. And he learned that from the last Republican president and his family. So wag the dog, wag the dog, wag the dog, you know. And that's been going on for a long time. Spanish American War, making Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders look more than what they really were. And then, of course, the propaganda that goes with it. And all these wars aren't doing anything except claiming territory and wealth for those who desire wealth. Okay? A lot of problems you can't solve because it's coming from the same folks that control everything. All of this hero worship of money is actually destroying you. The guy who's being listed as first trillionaire cuts all the benefits that would give you a democratic republic, taking benefits away from the people, and then making the Nazis and the Confederates happy by supposedly firing, people of color that work for these entities. But there were a lot of white folks working for these entities as well. But they're destroying these departments. Now all of a sudden he's a trillionaire. Yeah, because they redirected all of your public money to him. So he's a trillionaire. Okay? With your money. But you're too busy looking for the next distraction, and they're going to give it to you. Iran was a great distraction. Epstein put all the wealthy people on the radar about their trafficking and their satanic rituals and all these things that they're into. But okay, yeah, that's too heavy for you, and you want your TV dinner, and you want your UFC. And again, I have nothing against that sport at all. But I think every sport or anything that we do, any endeavor should, our brain should be attached to it. You can't just put your brain on vacation. Yeah, they like your brain on vacation because they can continue to exploit you. And you are choosing to accept the illusion, which is going to actually condemn you as well. It's not just them, because you're making a choice. You're making a choice to check out. And you're making a choice to turn a blind eye to your brothers and sisters who are suffering. Or you're making a choice to actually join those who are inflicting the suffering. But guess what? Your level of importance is not going to change. To them, you are a resource. Okay? They exploit you, and when they're done with that, they throw you away. So you need to understand that. Getting back to the Obama celebration was great to see. Congratulations to them. Yeah, I'm a firm believer that you still have to be part of the clique to get into the White House, but he represented something that we needed to see. And of course, they did need us to see that while they could do other things. And, sometimes those things that we think are great are also distractions that keep us busy. When Trump started the Iran war, he couldn't give you an answer why he started it. He was told to start it. And so he did. And then later on, it started to become clear to him why. And then they also had to offer some excuse. Well, we're going to try to keep them from getting nuclear arms. Well, we know that Obama already had set that up with far less money than Trump just gave these guys $500 billion. And he's like, they're not getting a cent. It's like, the guy lies through his teeth. He couldn't tell the truth. Put a gun to his head because he can't control his mouth. What you hear from him is exactly what he is. he tells you what he is, and I don't mean where he talks about I did this and I did that. I'm just saying, just listen to the guy and you will see. The ramblings of someone who's absolutely incoherent because they're high off of their own narcissism. And they don't have what they claim they have. Now, in his case, it would be intellect. He doesn't have that. A rat knows where his cheese is, okay? He might not make his cheese, but he knows where his cheese is, and he's going to do what he has to do to get it. So I'll just leave it at that. You're going to be like, oh, you called him a rat. No, I didn't call him a rat. I just said some of the most simple, basic creatures understand where their bread is buttered. That's just real simple. So let's talk about the Iran war. They call it a war. Trump said, "Oh, it's not a war; it's a skirmish. It's no big deal. We're large and we can take them out and it'll be done in a week. Oh, it'll be done in 2 weeks. Oh, it'll be done in a month." And he said, "Uncle, Uncle," he's like, they're choking off the oil. Oil? They got oil? I'm sure that was a question he has. They have oil. They have access to the oil. They have access to the pathway, the flow of oil. Real smart move. Real smart move. Or as my white friends used to say, smooth move, X-Lax. Yeah, that was a smooth move. Talking about killing the economy, and he says, I don't care about the people's economics. I don't care about their money. Well, no, because you're grifting off of all of their money. You pretend that you're one of the wealthiest guys around, but yet you want to grift off the public money. And that's the sad part about this whole thing, is that they exploit you physically as a resource, and then whatever they're supposed to pay you, they don't believe it's yours. So they take that back, and then they lie in your face. And then you've been living with an illusion for so long, you're kind of addicted to the illusion. And you're like, no, just tell me I'm beautiful. Just tell me you love me. Tell me yeah, okay, great. I know you don't, but just tell me that. What we have in America is not working. Okay? We have to do better. We have to want to do better. And if you just lay down, it's just going to get worse. You can't walk around with your head down because they're going to get you no matter what. And so you have an option, as they say, go out standing or go out on your knees. And I know there's a lot of people that they've lived a spineless existence. They've done that, and do whatever the politics say or demand, and maybe we'll get something and they'll leave us alone. But you don't understand; they keep demanding more and more and more. So we need to get a grip on this. That our democracy is under attack. And it's under attack by those folks that the brainless folks elected, because they feel like it's in their interest to hate everything and everybody. That has never worked. And if they're grifting and taking money, it's kind of counterintuitive, because eventually if you take all of the money and you put people out of work, there's no money. So what are you going to do next? And this is why you have ultimately World War III. Because you're going to run the public so far down that they're going to be no value to you other than the fact you need somebody to worship you. And you know you're going to have to cut the population down for that because your infrastructure can't handle 8 billion people. So you know you're going to have to substantially cut that. You can see where all of this is going. Ultimately, it does lead into World War III, and we're looking at it right now. You know, the doomsday clock, I've posted that. You guys need to pay attention to this. I know I'm not giving you news that you want to hear. I totally understand that. And maybe I'm not the person you want to hear it from. But here's the deal, I'm not the only one. People have been trying to tell you for generations where all this is headed. And it's too obvious. I'm telling you right now, America needs to make a decision. Do we want to continue on as Babylon? Where are they? We continue on in the spirit. Where are they? Do we want to ignore the obvious? They tell you there's no global warming. Look at these storms. Look at the effect on wildlife. Look at the effect on people. The gluttony and greed of wealth, turning everything into an institution, taking away your homes and farms, poisoning our air, our food supply, and water. This stuff has been going on for quite a long time, and it's about to reach a head. And guess what? The Earth will outsurvive us. We can nuke ourselves to death. The Earth would still be here. We wouldn't survive it. Nuclear war is absolutely insane. Storing nuclear stockpiles is a sign of insanity. It's not a sign of power. These guys are like, if I can't have it, neither can you. Well, if you bomb me, I'll bomb you. If we bomb somebody, radiation comes back to us in so many different ways. Somebody bombs us, the radiation goes back to them, comes back to them in so many different ways. That is not a winnable scenario, and they know that. And they say, oh, you'll be underground, and you can be underground for months and months. No. You couldn't build bunkers that would help you survive. And one reason is there would be a lot of things you would leave out because you don't even understand your own existence. So there'd be a lot of things that you would leave out. We have to stop smoking the myth. This stuff is not the way this world is going, what man is doing, it is not sustainable. And that's why ultimately man has this thing where if I can't have it, neither can you. Now, those of us that know biblical prophecy, we know something completely different in what the deal is. But I'm not going to take you into that. Do your homework. But you need to start asking the questions, and you need to seek the truth. If you don't seek the truth, you're going to be destroyed. And all I can say to you right now is that every day that you got this lunatic in the White House, we inch closer and closer and closer to self-annihilation in regards to this country and humanity. These negative attitudes, these corrupt personalities, this is not sustainable for mankind. A person with half a brain can figure it out. You create something that can annihilate all mankind and its environment, all the things that you need, the water, poisons everything. This is not sustainable. There is a better way. We have to start embracing each other for real. Start reaching out in peace. Stop believing this myth about money. Money is about confidence. There's no real value in it other than the fact that you've been told that you need to worship it and place value in it. There's no real value, even though for the folks that hold the symbol because they want to control the people, they're onto different types of money and income because it's really about their wealth and influence. All about their power and control. It has nothing to do with money. They want to be gods. But they'll hold an idol, and if you worship that, because they hold the idol, you got to worship them too. This is ridiculous. All the things that are plaguing man have been created by man, are being sustained by man, and funded by your tax dollars. Which way do we want to go? Continue to hate and destroy your brother, lose it all. Learn to love somebody, start to gain life. Right now, America is kicking out its democracy in favor of slavery. Think about that. Martin Luther King said it. You cannot legislate the heart. Can't do that. That's not going to work. People must have the will to want to do better. I'm Michael P. America. And January 6th was very real. The crust of America. And the reason why I call them that is because that's where the wealthiest placed them, disenfranchised them, put them on the bottom, and then said, well, you know, it's a liberal thing. The liberals did that to you. Really? Really? Go look at the Library of Congress. There's so much information on who did what and who's been doing it for generations and all of that stuff. If you really want to know the truth, we have recorded the truth and documented it. You guys don't want to know. You just want to point a finger because the wind blows and you think, well, it's easier to go that way because the wind's behind me. The wind changes really quick. And if you know anything about aeronautics, when you're flying, you get downdrafts. And what happens when a downdraft hits a plane or a helicopter? Think about that. We can be better. We should work to be better. This that we're doing here does not work. Killing your brothers and sisters. And then what is it with poor people and the working class killing each other? That's insane. The wealthy have no problem starting wars and dropping drugs in your neighborhoods and, you know, and incarcerating innocent people. And they have no problem torturing you, locking you up and putting you away. But you decide, kill yourself because you're angry. And so you're going to reach out to the guy who has the same problems you have and blame him because you're starting to loathe yourself? Is that what that is? We need to rethink this thing on violence, exploitation, all of this. I mean, I'm glad to see some of these countries are kicking social media where it needs to be kicked and getting it away from the children. I would say 18 would really be a great number. And before that, there should be an education on all the pitfalls of social media. Kids don't need to be on social media. There's a lot of adults that shouldn't be there because they can't think for themselves. So, all right. Just wanted to address you guys on June 19th. Happy day for Obama. Happy day for the Knicks. America, we got to fight for our democracy. ICE is an army for the Trump regime. He's building a military inside the city so that he can take over. They do not have any plans on relinquishing their power. So if you want to wait till the election, and boy, are you going to get a surprise. You couldn't get him out the first time and he didn't have an army. Now that he has an army, what do you think's going to happen? Trump has broadcasted every single thing that he's going to do. So if he does it, it's because you allowed him to. And he's like, if they're going to allow me, I'm going to do it. That's the way that guy rolls, okay? You guys need to understand that. January 6th happened, and I keep showing it because you guys need to pay attention to this, you know? You need to understand. And so guess what? I'm going to do it one more time. Take a look at this. Okay, so And that's the nice video that we have. We know that it escalates, it gets worse. They run in there and they're looking for politicians, and you've got some infantile morons that are, crapping on people's desks because, again, you overrun the nation's capital, and that's the smartest thing that you can do. Then they wonder why they're where they're at because you wasted an opportunity. They had no direction. They had they were pawns in all of this. There were no thinkers in there because thinkers actually could have gotten in there and started holding a conversation and actually filming and then making some points. Instead, they just went in there just to destroy things, like a bunch of overprivileged kids that had nothing better to do, that didn't think about why they were actually there, other than the fact that, well, the guy next to me is mad, so I should be mad too. You saw the bear spray, and we see the bear spray incidences increasing, and ICE is using bear spray. So, yes, same people, same attitude. It's messed up. Our democracy is in trouble. Supreme Court compromised. Yes, White House compromised. Senate compromised. Congress compromised. CIA compromised. FBI probably compromised. Homeland Security definitely compromised. Department of Defense definitely compromised. They are removing the government from its people. They are separating us. Okay? And guess what? We don't stop them right now, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. You guys are paying attention because your mind's on money that you don't have. It's about to get worse. Trust me. What are you going to do, America? This is Michael P. America. And guess what? It is about time for us to actually end it. And so all I want to say to you is we can do better. Okay? We can do better. And we must do better. This is Michael P. America. I am out.